I first noticed it the night the power went out. It wasn't unusual for our street to lose electricity, the cables were old, the poles leaning like drunks, but that night felt wrong from the start. I remember sitting in the living room, scrolling through my phone, when the lights flickered twice and died completely. The hum of the refrigerator stopped. The ceiling fan slowed to a halt. Suddenly, the house felt too quiet, too still, as if it were holding its breath. Outside, the neighborhood drowned in darkness. No streetlights, no distant glow from other houses, just the black silhouette of trees and the faint outline of my neighbor's roof against a clouded sky. That's when I saw it. In the far corner of my living room, where the darkness was thickest, there was something, a shape. At first I thought it was my coat hanging on the chair. But the longer I stared, the more wrong it seemed. It was too tall. Too still. Too intent. And I swear, it was facing me. I blinked hard, trying to adjust my eyes, but the outline didn't move. My phone's screen had dimmed, the faint light barely enough to illuminate my hands. I wanted to turn on the flashlight, but something in me refused. Some quiet, ancient instinct whispered, "Don't let it know you see it." I sat there frozen, gripping my phone, staring into that corner until the lights came back on 2 minutes later. The chair was empty. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound made me flinch, the ticking of the clock, the creak of wood, the rustle of wind through the trees outside. I told myself it was just my imagination, that the blackout had played tricks on my eyes. Still, I moved the chair away from the corner before going to bed. At around 3 a.m., I woke up to the sound of footsteps in the hallway. Slow, dragging footsteps. I live alone. For a moment I thought it might be the house settling, but no, I could hear them clearly, padding softly on the wooden floor, coming closer to my bedroom door. I held my breath. The steps stopped. Silence. Then came 3 faint knocks on the door. Not loud, just enough to make my skin crawl. I didn't move. Didn't even breathe. I just stared at the shadow under the door, watching for movement. Nothing. The air felt thick and heavy, pressing against my chest. After what felt like hours, I heard the steps retreat, slow, steady, back down the hallway. The next morning, there was nothing out of place. The front door was locked, all windows closed. I checked every room, every corner. Everything looked normal. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd been watched all night. Over the next few days, little things started happening. The kitchen light would flicker when I walked in. The sound of whispering just as I was about to fall asleep. My cat, Luna, refused to enter the living room, staring instead at the same corner where I'd seen the figure that first night. Her tail would puff up, her ears flat against her head, a low growl rumbling in her throat. I started sleeping with the lights on. Then one evening, as I was brushing my teeth, I saw something move in the mirror behind me. It was small, fast, a blur of black darting across the reflection. I spun around, toothbrush still in my mouth. Nothing. Just the half-open bathroom door leading to the hallway. I shut it quickly, locked it, and tried to calm myself. But when I looked back at the mirror, I noticed something that froze my blood. In the reflection, the door was wide open. I left the house that night and stayed at my friend Eric's apartment. I didn't tell him everything, just that my house was giving me the creeps. He laughed, offered me a beer, said I was probably overworked. Maybe I was. I slept on his couch. Around 2 a.m., I woke up to someone whispering my name. Daniel. It was so close it felt like it came from right beside my ear. I bolted upright, heart pounding, scanning the room. Eric's bedroom door was closed. The TV was off. The only sound was my ragged breathing. And then I noticed my phone lighting up on the table. Unknown number. A text. Why did you leave? I didn't respond. I just turned off the phone, shoved it under the pillow, and waited for morning. When I got back home the next day, the front door was ajar. Inside, everything looked exactly as I left it, except for the chair. It was back in the corner. And on it sat my cat, motionless, staring at the wall. Her eyes were wide open, glassy, unblinking. She didn't move when I called her. When I touched her, she was stiff. Cold. Int. James's apartment, bedroom, night. A dark, modest room. Only the faint orange streetlight seeps through the blinds. A digital clock glows, 3:47 a.m. On the bed, James Harris, 35, lies awake, eyes open, restless. He's unshaven, hollow-eyed, the look of someone who hasn't slept in days. James, V.O. I don't know what time it is anymore. Every night feels the same. The dark doesn't end. It just resets. He turns over, glancing at his phone. Silence. Then, his eyes flutter. He's drifting. Cut to. Clock, 4 a.m. SFX, a scream, blood-curdling, inhuman. James jerks upright. James. Jesus. He stumbles to the window, peering through the blinds. EXT Street, James's POV. Empty. Still. Only the hum of streetlights and the whisper of wind. James, V.O. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't a person. It was something else. Int. Apartment, morning. James stares blankly at his laptop. The cursor blinks on a half-written work email. He can't focus. He opens a local news site. Resident reports strange noises. Police dismiss claims. He sighs. Takes a sip of cold coffee. James, V.O. Nobody believes you when you say you heard a scream at 4 a.m. They call it a dream, a fox, a drunk. But fear, you can't mistake that kind of fear. Int. Bedroom, night, second night. James is awake this time. A mug of coffee beside him. He checks the clock, 3:58 a.m. He stayed with me at a motel for the rest of the night. In the morning, Eric went back to the house alone to grab some of my stuff. He called me 10 minutes later. Man, your front door's wide open. I told him not to go inside. He laughed it off. Relax. I'll be quick. That was the last time I heard his voice. They found his car still in my driveway, driver's door open, keys on the seat. His phone was inside the house, smashed against the floor. The police said there was no sign of forced entry. No footprints. No struggle. Just, gone. They questioned me for hours. I told them everything, the figure, the voice, the messages. They exchanged looks that said unstable. Eventually, they let me go. I sold the house 2 months later. Last night, in my new apartment, the power went out again. I sat still, waiting for my eyes to adjust. And in the far corner of the room, I saw it, tall, still, patient, exactly where it had been the first night. This time, I didn't look away. And from the darkness, it whispered, almost tenderly. You shouldn't have left me.